So imagine trying to cater a massive multi-city conference, complete with custom dietary restrictions, varying departmental budgets, and staggered delivery times.
Yeah, that sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It is. Now imagine forcing your team to process every single detail of that entire event by hand.
Oh, why?
Right? But that is essentially the reality of B2B commerce today when you look at manual ordering. Welcome to this deep dive. Okay, let's unpack this. Because if you've ever wondered why purchasing 10,000 complex components for a business is so much clunkier than just buying a single pair of shoes for yourself online, well, this breakdown is for you.
Yeah, the friction really comes down to fundamental differences in what the transaction actually requires. I mean, ordering B2C is highly linear.
Right, you pick your shoes, you pay, and they ship.
Exactly. But B2B requires this incredibly complex operational ecosystem. You are dealing with hierarchical account structures, contract-based pricing, and request for quote, or RFQ processing.
So it's a lot more demanding than a basic digital shopping cart. Like a buyer might need you to enforce credit limits on the fly.
Right.
Or they might require specific delivery logic, like staggered partial shipments spread over 6 months.
Or even selecting specific calendar week numbers for delivery just to align perfectly with their own manufacturing schedule.
Oh, wow. So because of all those highly specific variables, companies just default to having their finance and sales teams manually enter these transactions?
Yeah, pretty much. They take emails or PDFs and literally retype them into their financial and inventory brain, the ERP.
But wait, if the variables are that complex, typing them by hand seems incredibly risky. I mean, one slipped digit on a 10,000 unit staggered delivery could completely derail a production line.
Oh, absolutely. The human error rate just spikes.
Yeah.
And when a manual entry error happens, the order-to-cash cycle, the entire process from getting the order to actually getting paid, it just breaks down.
Meaning shipments get delayed?
Delayed shipments, invoices get disputed, and your cash flow basically freezes.
So human error breaks the order-to-cash cycle. But what happens when companies try to fix that manual entry problem by just throwing an automated digital storefront on top of their back office systems?
Well,
Like, say they keep their customer records, their CRM, completely walled off from the ERP.
then you create a black hole of information. When business systems operate in isolation like that, you get data lag.
Data lag, right?
Yeah, so if a distributor makes a purchase promise to their client based on lagged inventory data and the stock isn't actually there, the distributor has to absorb the cost of that broken promise.
Yikes. That introduces massive friction into partner relationships.
Oh, totally destroys trust.
But why can't a business just buy third-party middleware? Build a custom connector to stitch their different databases together so they communicate.
What's fascinating here is this concept called integration debt.
Integration debt.
Yeah, middleware works by constantly copying and pasting data between two separate systems via APIs. And because they don't share the same core database, you inevitably get sync latency.
So there's a delay. Where the storefront thinks you have 50 units, but the ERP just allocated them to another buyer 5 minutes ago.
Exactly. And honestly, those custom connections are really fragile.
I'd imagine. Because when a company rolls out a core system update to an ERP like Microsoft Dynamics 365, that custom copy-paste script suddenly doesn't know where to put the data.
But it just snaps.
Yeah.
It severely increases IT overhead because your team is just constantly patching the connection.
So using middleware is basically like hiring a translator to constantly sprint back and forth between two CEOs who speak different languages.
That is exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
But the architectural alternative is native integration. That is like the CEO is just sharing a single brain. There's nothing to translate.
Right, because the e-commerce platform lives inside the ERP, so there's no copying and pasting at all.
Exactly. By operating natively within a system like Microsoft Dynamics 365, you ensure 100% data integrity and zero latency.
Zero latency. Wow.
Because you are leveraging your existing business logic as a single source of truth. So the storefront reads the exact same inventory and pricing tables as the warehouse.
Which completely removes that translation layer. And extending an ERP natively like the BASOFA Elevate B2B platform does directly inside Microsoft Dynamics 365 allows businesses to automate the entire order-to-cash cycle without any of that middleware friction.
Yeah, the data lag disappears completely. And because the system inherently understands the complex rules of the ERP, your reliance on manual order capture drops dramatically.
So what does this all mean? We started by talking about the nightmare of manually managing a multi-city catering order compared to just buying a pizza. Look at the operational systems in your own industry. Where is manual data entry quietly creating an invisible tax on your profits? And could a unified single source of truth architecture completely eliminate that hidden cost?